Toward the beginning of the film we're acquainted with two youngsters, Woody and Nell. The two are neighbors and adolescents companions who additionally end up going to the same school anyway. They are not close to one another now and seldom convey. One night as Woody is moving inside his room while playing clearly music, a rankled Nell hollers at him through her window to keep it low. She makes sense of that. She's attempting to zero in on her examinations as their tests are around the bend anyway. Woody, who preferences irritating his neighbor, basically overlooks her when she progresses forward, demanding he offers her an arrangement. On the off chance that she streaks him, he will switch off the music. At the present time, this clearly rankles Nell, and she chooses to close her window. However, while doing so, her garments stall out in the window and remove. Woody then, at that point, makes do to see her stripped, humiliating her. Next we get to be familiar with the pair's family and way of life. Woody is from a working-class family and is a famous competitor at school anyway. His grades are non-existent and his folks are simply glad that he's going to high school. They accept that he will look after the family store soon. On the opposite, Nell is a smart understudy who tries to go to a major college. After secondary school, her folks additionally have high expectations for herself, and that's what they trust. She will end up being a legal counselor later on. However, not at all like Woody. She is an abnormal young lady who needs interactive abilities. This has made her an outsider in school, and she has little to no companions. We likewise get to know that the two can't stand each other a ton. What's more, frequently get into debates on a standard thing. Day Woody is gotten by his companion horse. However, Nell gets late and misses her school transport. Subsequently, she's compelled to walk without help from anyone else. On the way, Woody sees her and drives his companion's vehicle past her, splashing her wet. This makes her a fool as her hair gets puffed like popcorn when Nell at last shows up at school. She chooses to defy Woody. Anyway, she alters her perspective as she doesn't have any desire to burn through her experience with Woody and his egotistical girlfriend Brianna. In the homeroom, Woody furtively types vulgar things in Nell's PC, which makes a noisy clamor and causes everybody in class to giggle at her. In the following scene, the entire class goes on a field excursion to a historical center of Mexican culture, where they need to do an action in Paris for Woody to pay consideration. The instructor drives him to be with Nell, and like generally the two end up battling anyway. This time they start battling before an old sculpture, which is apparently the Lord of Enchantment, as they contend the baffling sculpture discreetly enchants upon them around evening time. While they're dozing, the spell begins working, and when they awaken they regard themselves as caught in one another's bodies. Here they begin confronting hardships of being the inverse orientation, like having morning wood or eating something else entirely. Dinner. This alarms the two of them, and at the point when they meet at school they quickly begin faulting each other for the wreck. Anyway, they ultimately concur to chill out until their bodies are switched back again. At first both of them succeed, yet soon they begin contending against, as they feel like the other is distorting their body. For example, Woody responds as the educator's inquiry in an exceptionally odd way, and Nell drops the food in the cafeteria. Besides, Nell performs seriously in the football work on inciting the mentor to admonish her. The following day, the bodies are still traded and they haven't returned to their unique structure. Nell comes to school in proper garments, and this rankles Woody, as he suspects he seems to be a nitwit. To exacerbate the situation, he learns about the bombed football training from the earlier day and gets angrier at Nell. In reprisal, he spruces up in very provocative dress the following day and causes all that to harm her standing. Seeing this, Nell gets maddened and breaks up with Woody's better half Brianna. The maligning game go on as Woody drives off with a biker kid named Nikki to engage in sexual relations with him. This annihilates Nell, as she had forever been saving that second for an individual she truly cherishes. Luckily Woody pulls out at the last second, as he feels strange that a man is going to have intercourse to him anyway. Nikki becomes angry and before long spreads misleading tales all around the school about how he did it with Nell. This makes Nell break down in tears. In the following scene, the team meet each other at the school hall. Furthermore, Woody concedes that he didn't in fact take Anne's virginity and that all the reports are phony. In spite of this, Nell is still annoyed, so Woody chooses to face Nikki and show him something new. He heads to the ball court where Nikki is rehearsing and attempts to punch him, however doesn't rely on the way that he no longer has his actual strength in light of the fact that he has changed his body. Right then Nell shows up, smacks him upside the head, and compels him to uncover every bit of relevant information in front of everybody. Later the two beginning to accommodate, however Woody is as yet stressed as his football match will be held before long. As they attempt to review how their body switch occurred, they abruptly understand that they battled right in front of the sculpture of the antiquated divine force of witchcraft. In the following scene, the team meet each other at the school hallway. Also, Woody concedes that he didn't, as a matter of fact, take Anne's virginity and that all the bits of gossip are phony. Notwithstanding this, Nell is still agitated, so Woody chooses to stand up to Nikki and show him something new. He heads to the b-ball court where Nikki is rehearsing and attempts to punch him, yet doesn't rely on the way that he no longer has his actual strength in light of the fact that he has changed his body. Right then Nell shows up, smacks him upside the head, and compels him to uncover every bit of relevant information in front of everybody. Later the two beginning to accommodate, however Woody is as yet stressed as his football match will be held before long. As they attempt to review how their body switch occurred, they abruptly understand that they battled right in front of the sculpture of the antiquated Lord of Magic. In the following scene, the couple gets back to the gallery and defies the sculpture. Nell makes an honest effort to arrange with the sculpture to get their bodies back, however bombs following this. They find some peace with the way that they need to help each other in two forthcoming significant occasions. Nell needs to practice for Woody's impending football match, though Woody needs to really hit the books for Nell's impending Yale interview, since one is solid and the other is shrewd. They expect that with time, what's more, practice, they can pass their particular tests. Around evening time, Nell begins drinking at a party with Horse, while Woody hits up a sleep party with Nell's closest companions. There he hears Junk discuss himself and gets maddened soon. The young ladies compel him to get a Brazilian swimsuit wax, and Woody endures agonizing agony through the entirety difficulty. The following morning, Woody methodologies Nell, who is as yet pounded from last night's unreasonable drinking. He takes care of her, and soon they begin becoming near each other. In this manner they likewise begin seeing one another better and make an honest effort to pass the tests for their other portion of the evening. Before the unequivocal tests, the team concurs to attend the school party together, however not as dates. That very evening at supper, the two of them talk with their families and presently discovers that their folks were great companions previously. Anyway, they needed to stop talking as a result of her mom, who didn't need them spending time with humble individuals. In addition, Nell discovers that Woody's guardians are exceptionally kind and real individuals who care about their child a great deal. On the other hand, Woody discovers that Nell's Whole family, including her, thinks that his family is idiotic and see that he surges out of the house and goes to rehearse football alone. Later, Nell attempts to reach out to Woody to help him in examinations yet can't find him at her home. Subsequently she chooses to ultimately search for him. She finds him rehearsing alone yet a furious Woody attacks her colloquialism that he understands her thought process of him. The two again get into a contention, however, they choose to figure out their disparities for the purpose of their unequivocal tests. The following day Woody shows up and asks body for her meeting at Yale. When the senior member inquires him about verse, he begins stammering. What's more, ruins his response anyway. He before long beginnings, discussing his energy for the advanced writer's rapper's hearing. This the dignitary is dazzled and bewildered by this young lady's energy for something she depicts as a current artistic expression. Sometime thereafter, Woody shows up at the match and sits straight away. To his folks things don't go concurring to design at first as the rival group continues to thump Nell down once more and again after some time. Nell, in the long run, begins getting the hang of things and assists her group with getting more focus as this assists her with acquiring acclaim from everybody, counting Woody's folks anyway. The resurgence is as yet insufficient as they're following the resistance by a little edge. With time running out, Nell utilizes her entire being and scores the last point. In the long run delegated her group as champs. After the game, a school enrollment specialist who saw Nell's inconceivable execution offers her a future with his group. Later the couple meets one another and communicates their bliss at the crazy experience they just had. They likewise concur that assuming they must be caught in another person's body, they'd be respected to be each other. All of a sudden, the spiritualist sculpture begins playing out a spell once more, and Woody and Nell, at long last, have their bodies back. Soon Woody is moved by his group and Nell strolls in on him and Brianna kissing. Upset, she stomps out of the spot. In the next scene, Woody attempts to talk with Nell, yet her mom won't let him in, calling him uninformed. Inside, Nell gets a letter of acknowledgement from Yale College, yet she's actually disturbed about the occasion from the earlier day. Thus, she rules against going to the school party. Right then her dad strolls in and the two have a discussion about Woody. Nell uncovers that she is infatuated with Woody and her dad supports her to hit up the school party, being the upside father that he will be. He even astonishments her with a lovely dress and shoes for the party. Then again Woody has accommodated with Brianna, yet it is apparent that he isn't intrigued. Soon they're chosen as Lord and Sovereign, and as they're going to move, Woody takes note Nell in her delightful dress. He is beguiled by her excellence and can't stop gazing at her. Burning through no time he approaches her and the pair admit their love for each other. After this they leave the school and begin making out right close to their homes. Both their fathers should be visible, glad and cheering for them together. The next day Nell goes up against her mom and illuminates her that she will be taking a sabbatical for a year prior to going to her new college. Her mom resents the choice, yet she has no other decision except for to acknowledge Nell's choice. The film closes as Nell joyfully moves onto Woody's vehicle. Also, the couple drive away.